Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we've got a brand new puzzle today by the fantastic setter Kaktuslav to have a look at. This is called Coldulo. We've had a couple of recommendations to try this. I think it's only been out for a day or two, but it's already getting some attention. And I actually did find this on Logic Masters before I turned on the webcam, and it's sitting at a lowly 88%, which is normally, 88% is obviously a very good rating, but normally puzzles that appear on the channel will be sort of 95% plus. But there are trolls in the world of Sudoku who deliberately downrate puzzles. So I'm going to believe the recommendations we've had, and also believe a couple of the comments that said things like, "This is one of the most extraordinary puzzles that there's ever been." Having said that, the rules are absolutely terrifying, because this involves something to do with modulo arithmetic, which I do not claim to be an expert in. It's an amazing rule set, actually. It is an amazing rule set, but I've got no idea what it means. I'm also not quite sure why it's called Coldulo. I don't know the answer to that. But anyway, we'll read the rules together and have a look at this in a moment or two's time. Before we do that, I have got loads of things to tell you about today, some of which are of my own making. So let me trot through some of those. There was a bonus video on the channel this morning, so you must check that out. Here we go. This is my latest solve with one of our viewers, Mark, who kindly joined us from Virginia over there in the States. Many happy returns, of course, to the United States of America for 250 years yesterday. But there's Mark and his family there on the left-hand side. And we did an amazing puzzle by Playmaker 6174 called Sulla Via della Gloria, I think. And that is quite a puzzle. Anyway, it's always been such a treat to solve with one of you guys. And that is a bonus video that I do recommend to you. And you must have a go at the puzzle as well. It's really cool. Now, other news. Over on Patreon, we have got our monthly competition that is up and running, and loads of you have been having a go at this. Should we see what the current count is? Pet Detectives by, you can see there, Sandra and Nala and Panthera. If we click reload, we were at 127. So it's 272 now. It's phenomenal. It is just phenomenal. Look how many solves the first three puzzles have all had, over 1,000 solves. Well done to all of you who are getting involved in this. You've got loads of time. So if you'd like to be like Mark and have a chance to come onto the channel, that's how to do it. But also over on Patreon, there are other goodies. Mark is releasing a listener crossword solve tomorrow, and that is a listener crossword by Sabre. And Sabre, if you've ever done any themed cryptic crossword, Sabre is a name that strikes fear into one's heart. But Mark recorded his solve of the recent Sabre listener, and that's going to go live on the channel tomorrow. So if you do like crossword content, that's something I'd recommend. We've also got my solve of the GCHQ Puzzle of the Year. I'm hoping that will go on the channel this coming week, but if you want early access to that, check it out. Blueprints. We're back in the Blueprints mansion for the 52nd time tomorrow. So have a look at that. I've got birthdays to do. Let's do the birthdays. Artemis, your partner Dylan wrote to me and said that you're having carrot cake to celebrate your birthday. I cannot. Well, I do like carrot cake. I do, especially if it's got lots of icing. I mean, the carrot cake I can take or leave, but the actual cakey bit. But if it's got a large ratio of icing, that white icing that carrot cake sometimes comes by, I'm partial to that. So Artemis, I hope your carrot cake is very heavily iced, and I hope you have a great birthday today. Next, Dasha. Dasher, your friend Kirill wrote to me. I think maybe, are you from Serbia? I might be getting that wrong. That's a guess based off the names. But Kirill told me that you like cracking the cryptic and you also enjoy crocheting. I don't know, do you pronounce the T in crocheting? I mean, I know you don't when it's just crochet or croquet even, but maybe when it's ing at the end. Am I meant to say crochet? No, it must still be just crocheting. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoy those things, especially the cracking the cryptic part. I know you're an AI researcher with some interest in Sudoku, so you did your master's, I think, on a Sudoku solver. So I love the fact that people are doing academic research now on Sudoku. And apparently there is a small picnic party planned for today. So I hope you enjoy that. And I hope somebody's got you some chocolate cake. Many happy returns. And then the last birthday is for Paulina. And this may well be an incorrect birthday because I wasn't told when in July Paulina's birthday was. So I'm going for today, partly on the basis that I know Paulina likes Kaktuslav puzzles. So this feels as good a day as any. Paulina, I know you've been watching for a few months. Thank you for doing that. And I hope you have a great birthday, whenever it is in July. And I hope there was chocolate, or there is chocolate cake to come. Now, the only other thing I wanted to mention is I had a lovely email from Mitra, who I think is a well-known cartoonist. And Mitra was kind enough to say that she enjoyed some of the poetry readings that we've done on the channel over the years. And particularly, I think one called Tommy, when I read Kipling's poem a while ago. And Mitra was saying it was on the hunt for more poetry readings, I suppose, and that got me thinking, because of a poem I've never read on the channel but have always wanted to read is, of course, Gunga Din, because Gunga Din is my favourite Kipling poem. But Gunga Din was written a long time ago, when sensibilities were very different, and therefore some of the language in Gunga Din is definitely not appropriate nowadays. So that's why I've always shied away from it. Maverick's about to fly over. Sorry if there's a bit of aeroplane noise in the background, but I thought I should do it. And unless you are an absolute expert on the poem Gunga Din, which some of you will be, I don't think you will notice the changes I've made. But I have changed about 3 words, I think, in the poem, just so that it is. I don't think it now should be viewed or could be viewed as offensive. And I know for some of you, you'll be cross I've even changed any words, and I understand why. But hopefully, you can understand why. I thought for a family YouTube channel. In the modern age, I felt I ought to. So I'm going to read Gunga Din for you with very minimal changes. And this is my favourite Rudyard Kipling poem. And his use of language, I think, is quite extraordinary. Now, it has to be read, I think, that again, like with Tommy, it has to be read with a slight northern twang to it. So you'll forgive me for that. I'm going to go back to some of my roots in Cheshire when I was a boy growing up, and I'll try and do this justice. You may talk of gin and beer when you're quartered safe out here, and you're sent to penny fights and Aldershotted. But when it comes to slaughter, you will do your work on water, and you'll lick the bloomin' boots of him that's got it. Now in India's sunny clime, where I used to spend my time, a-serving of Her Majesty the Queen, of all that dusty crew, the finest man I knew was our regimental bistie, Gunga Din. It was din, 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 you limpin' lump of brick dust, Gunga Din. Hey, slippy i' the row, water, get it, panny low, you dusty-nosed old idol, Gunga Din. The uniform he wore was nothing much before, and rather less than half of that behind, but a piece of twisty rag and a goatskin water bag was all the field equipment he could find. when the sweatin' troop train lay in a siding through the day, where the heat would make your bloomin' eyebrows crawl. We shouted Harry by till our throats were bricky dry, then we whopped him, 'cause he couldn't serve us all. It was din, din, din. You heathen, where the mischief have you been? Or put some joldy in it, or I'll marry you this minute, if you don't fill up my helmet, Gunga Din. He would dot and carry one till the longest day was done, and he didn't seem to know the use of fear. If we charged, or broke, or cut, you could bet your bloomin' nut he'd be waitin' 50 paces right flank rear. With his mussick on his back, he would skip with our attack, and watch us till the bugles made retire. For all his dirty hide, he was bright, clear bright inside, when he went to tend the wounded under fire. It was din, 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 with the bullets kicking dust spots on the green. When the cartridges ran out, you could hear the front rank shout, "Hey, ammunition mules and Gunga Din." I shan't forget the night when I dropped behind the fight with a bullet where my belt plate should have been. I was choking mad with thirst, and the man that spied me first was our good old grinning, grunting Gunga Din. He lifted up me head, and he plugged me where I bled, and he gave me half a pint of water green. It was crawling, and it stunk, but of all the drinks I've drunk, gratefulest to one from Gunga Din. It was din, din, din. Here's a beggar with a bullet through his spleen. He's chawing up the ground, and he's kicking all around. For God's sake, get the water, Gunga Din. He carried me away to where a dooley lay, and a bullet came and drilled the beggar clean. He put me safe inside, and just before he died, "I hope you liked your drink," says Gunga Din. So I'll meet him later on at the place where he is gone, where it's always double drill and no canteen. He'll be squatting on the coals, giving drink to poor damned souls, and I'll get a swig in hell from Gunga Din. Yes, din, 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 you Lazarushian leather, Gunga Din, though I've belted you and flayed you by the living God that made you, you're a better man than I am, Gunga Din. How magnificent a use of language is that? Absolutely incredible. Rudyard Kipling. Yeah, I hope you'll forgive me occasionally if I do that on the channel. I know it's not what the channel's about, but I sort of think this channel is... it's about words, it's about numbers, it's about logic, isn't it? It's about beautiful things. And that, to me, is a beautiful thing. So, anyway, let's move swiftly on and have a look at Coldulo by Kaktuslav. What are the rules we've got to do today? We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we're going to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Now, this is a very strange rule coming up. If a marked cell contains the digit n, hang on, I've missed a rule. Because the first line of the rules I thought was going on to say the digits 1 to 9 in every row, column or box, but it doesn't. It says the 9 marked cells contain the digits 1 to 9 exactly once. Right, okay, well that's a new thing. So those are the digits 1 to 9 once each, and we've already got a 1. The 9 marked cells, yeah, okay. So this is like that sort of Christmas tree of, are they snowflakes or something? I don't know. Whatever they are that Christmas tree of cells are an extra region of the puzzle. What I mean by that is they're a bit like a 3x3 box. They don't look like a 3x3 box, but they do have to contain one instance of the digits 1 to 9 once each. So they sort of do the same job as a 3x3 box. Now, if a marked cell contains the digit n, then every vertical group of n consecutive cells in its column has remainders 0, 1, ... n minus 1 in some order when its digits are divided by n. Such a group may start anywhere in the column. It does not need to contain the marked cell. But, I mean, that, to me, is close to gibberish. But there is an example, and I think this is going to be important. For example, if a marked cell contains 4, let's see that one. If that's a 4, what does that mean? Then every 4 consecutive cells in its column, every 4 consecutive cells. So I guess we have to keep making groups of 4 consecutive cells, which is quite difficult to do, but I think I have achieved it. So every one of these different coloured 4-cell sequences, the marked cell contains a 4. Every 4 consecutive cells. So every group of 4 cells have remainders 0, 1, 2, and 3 under division by 4 in some order. Right. So one of these would have to have a remainder of 1 when divided by 4. I mean, we've obviously got one that's got a remainder of 0, the 4 itself. So one of these would have to be either a 1, a 5, or a 9 in order to have a remainder of 1. One of them would have to have a remainder of 2 when divided by 4. So that would have to be a 2, a 6, or a 10. Well, 10 doesn't exist, so 2 or a 6. One would have to have a remainder of 3. So that would be 3 or 7, I think. Yeah, 3, 7, 11 won't work. And I was going to say one of which must have a remainder of 4, but that's obviously impossible because once you have a remainder of 4, you sort of reset the count. It goes back to having a remainder of 0. So that is a very strange rule. And that exists within every one of these, doesn't it? So if that one... Yeah, so that being a 4. So in the yellow group, you would have to have a cell that has a 0 remainder when divided by 4, because that's dropped out sort of in that series. We know that because let's actually look at this, because this is I think relevant. So forgive me for majoring on this, and I hope this doesn't count as solving. I don't intend it to, but the yellow sequence has to contain a 0 remainder 4 digit. But the indigo sequence has got a 0 remainder 4 digit. That's the 4 itself. So these digits will under division by 4, be a digit that has a 1 remainder, a digit that has a 2 remainder, and a digit that has a 3 remainder. So in these 3 digits here, there is not a 0 remainder digit. So in the yellow set, to have a 0 remainder digit, it's going to have to be that one, which is therefore going to have to be an 8. There, I've said it. I think. Because it couldn't be a 12. Yeah, I sort of do understand that. Now, that example has been helpful, to be honest. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video, as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. There was somebody the other day who said, I don't like the 10-minute introductions. Well, I've not done a 10-minute introduction. I've done an 18-minute introduction. So, we should be quite happy. Now, how does this column work then? We've got a remainder of... No, it's not a remainder, is it? It's... Hang on, how does the rule work? How does a 1 work under this rule? If a marked cell, that is a marked cell, contains the digit 1, I'm going to substitute 1 in for n, then every vertical group of 1 cell in the column has remainders 0 up to n minus 1, which is 0. So it has a remainder of 0. Oh, I see. So that just works. That column just works. It doesn't matter. That column you can't do anything with. That is a totally irrelevant column, because every digit in the column under division by 1 will have a 0 remainder, which is what the rule says it has to have. That's weird. Okay. So do you think we look at 2 or 9 next? Don't know. Let's think about 2. So 2, so whichever one of these has a 2 in it, let's put 2 there. we're saying that every group of 2 in the column has, oh, I see, right, so this is a sort of parity column. So we'll have a remainder of 0 when divided by 2, and a remainder of 1 when divided by 2. Well, digits that have a remainder of 1 when divided by 2 are odd. That's the nature of an odd digit. If you pick the number 7 and divide it by 2, it'll go in 3 times with a remainder of 1. So even digits in this, right, so even digits, so that's not a 2, is what I'm going to tell you. Because what that means is what it means is if you were to put a 2 here, that has a 0 remainder when divided by 2, which means in this column, that sort of digit, the one with a 0 remainder, would have to repeat every 2 cells, because let me try and explain this. That 2-digit domino needs a digit with a 0 remainder when divided by 2 and a 1 remainder when divided by 2. So this is going to be a 1 remainder, and then those 2 digits need a 0 remainder digit, which is going to be this one, isn't it? And that pattern is going to repeat, and that is a problem if this is a 2, because you're going to have even digits in those cells in the column. And there aren't 5 even digits in Sudoku. 2, 4, 6, and 8 is the limit. So what we're going to have to do is to put the 2 into a position where it allows. So this could work for a 2. That couldn't. That could, yeah, because it would be those, wouldn't it? They would be the evens. In this one, they would be the evens. So these 2 work. That doesn't work. Because again, that's putting the 2s, or putting the even digits in the odd positions, or in the sort of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 positions in the column, is making 5 of them appear. None of those work. They're all in row 7. So if any of these were a 2, you'd get even digits in 5 positions in the column. So only those 2 can be 2. So that was worth doing. Can I just think about 9, if that's all right? I just want to think about 9, because 9... Yeah, 9 is useless as well, actually. So I think we have to go from low digits. 9 is useless because the way the rule is worded, it's saying that every 9... Imagine this was a 9. We're saying every 9 digits in this column, and there are 9 digits. There's no second sequence in a column of 9, because we're taking every vertical group of 9 cells. Well, there's only one vertical group of 9 cells where you've got a 9. So in that column, you're saying you've got to have a digit with a 0 remainder under division by 9. Well, that's the 9. And a 1 remainder, a 2 remainder, all the way through up to an 8 remainder. So wherever the 1 goes in this column, it'll have a 1 remainder. Wherever the 8 goes, it'll have an 8 remainder. And every other digit is just catered for. So the ordering of the digits within the column is irrelevant. So the 9, I mean, we won't do this, but literally the 9 could go in all the positions, I think. There are columns here that have 2 digits in them. That probably is going to be important. Yeah, look, those ones all are individual in their columns. I wonder if they have to be prime or something. I don't know. Let's think about 3. So if this is a 3, how does the rule work? Then every 3 cells in the column has to include a digit with a 0 remainder. Yeah, I do understand that. Right, so what that means is that there is a column that operates like a modular line. If you've ever done a Sudoku with a modular line is every 3 adjacent digits on the line has to have a digit with a 0 remainder under division by 3, so a 3, 6, 9, a 1 remainder, so a 1, 4, 7, and a 2 remainder, so a 2, 5, 8 in some order. And then that's going to cycle. So if this was a 3, this digit would have to be a 6 or a 9. That digit would have to be a 6 or a 9. Because again, it's exactly the same principle. This principle feels important, doesn't it? In the yellow set, you haven't had, because these two can't be 0 remainder digits for the green set to work, this is going to be a remainder 1 and a remainder 2 digit. The remainder 0 digit is that one. So every 3 cells in the 3, wherever you put the 3, you're going to have the 0 remainder digit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a beautiful. This puzzle actually. I'm going to totally change tack now. I think. Yeah, right. What that has just taught me. So what we've just done. We did the 2 and we did the 3, and what we noticed is a pattern, in the sense that in the 2 column, every second digit has to have a 0 remainder. In the 3 column, every third digit has to have a 0 remainder. So in the 4 column, wherever we put the 4 digits away from that 4 should be a digit with a 0 remainder mod 4. Now that means, but it's not the 4 I want to think about, it's the 5. Am I wrong about it? No, I don't think I am. How could anything else? How could any star other than that one be 5? It couldn't be. Because why do I say that? Well, if we put say I put the 5 here, what we've just learned is that 5 cells away, this cell, I should have a 0 remainder digit. There are no 0 remainder digits that are like 5. There just aren't. I can't write 10 in here. There's no other digit that can work. So the only place 5 can go is in row 5. That way, in this column, there isn't a second 0 remainder 5 digit to be placed. Now, you may say, oh, hang on, no, well, how could it work for 6, say? And maybe that's the next question. Let me just think about this. I think the 5 has to go here. I just don't see how it can possibly work anywhere else. Now, let me, I've got to think. I'm onto something here. There is some idea underlying this puzzle, and I just have to think it through. Just give me a second to try and understand how it works. Because I think 6, 7, 8, and 9. How does 8 work then? So if this was an 8, what we're saying is, no, 8 can't go there. Yeah. Oh, this is a weird puzzle. It's a weird puzzle. Right. Okay. I'm going to make that 8 instead. That might be able to be 8, I think. Because in the 8 column, there are 2 8-cell sequences. There's that one, and there's this one. Now, so there needs to be a digit. This, whatever the modularity of this one is, it has to repeat in the indigo sequence, because it can't appear in those 7 cells of the indigo sequence. So that has to be a 1-9, doesn't it? This is going to have to be a 1-9 pair in the column Wherever the 8 lives, it's weird, because it doesn't matter where the 8 is actually. So it isn't like the 5. Yeah, it isn't like the 5. The 5 has a problem because 5 cells away from the 5, you know you're going to have to put in the same sort of digit, if you see what I mean. A 0 mod 5 digit. 8 is the only 0 mod 8 digit. Yeah, but the problem with the 8 column is the 1 and the 9, which have the same modularity under division by 8, so have to be 8 cells apart in that column. Oh, this is mad. It's really quite interesting, but I'm not finding this very easy. So hang on. So now I need to think this through again. So I think I better think it out again. I'm reviewing. So I found a small restriction on 2s. 3s are a modular line. So it is the high digits, isn't it? So 7, in the 7 column, whichever one of these stars has a 7 in it, there are digits that repeat the modularity. So 1 and 8 have the same modularity under division by 7. They both have remainder 1. 2 and 9 have the same modularity. So in that column, in the 7s column, the wings of the column have to be 1, 2, 8, 9. So some of these, bobbins, so those 2 can't be 7, because if that was 7, where are we putting 1, 2, 8, and 9 in the column? That it wouldn't work. You know, this could be a 1, which would make this one an 8. But if this was a 9, it's got a 2 remainder. And wherever we put the 2, it would repeat. It would repeat within a 7-cell sequence. So that's not going to be allowed. So these can't be 7. If that's 7, that could be 1, 2, 8, 9. This is 7. This is 7. I think 7 can work in most of the positions. I have a feeling it's 6, actually. 6 is troubling me. I need to think through 6. So 6, by this logic, when we divide the numbers 1, 2, and 3 by 6, we get remainders of 1, 2, and 3. When we divide 7, 8, and 9 by 6, we get the remainders of 1, 2, and 3. So in the column with 6, the 1 and the 7 are 6 cells apart, the 2 and the 8 are 6 cells apart, and the 3 and the 9 are 6 cells apart. So in the column with 6, 4, 5, and 6 are in the middle, are in there. And that means that's a 6. That is weird. I was thinking that was going to be 6. That's just nonsense, isn't it? Because then that would have to be 0 mod 6. I'm sort of. It's a really weird puzzle, this, but that is a 6. Because in the column with the 6, we've got repeated modularities within the 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9 sequence, so they have to be 6 apart in order to preserve sanity. And therefore 6, whichever column we decided had a 6 in its thingy, one of these has to be a 6. And the only one that can be is this one, because it has to sit in these middle three. So now, because of what we've just said, we know that's 4 and 5. And we know in some order, I'm just going to colour these, and those are all 6 digits apart. So if this was a 1, this would be a 7. If this was an 8, this would be a 2, etc. And now that is a 2, and therefore we know the polarity of this column. Those ones are 4, 6, and 8. And that's not 6. That one could be anything, and that one we don't know. So, I mean, forgive me for this, but given how complicated this is, I am actually going to pencil mark this. That's really not worked, has it? So the 2 and the 5. Oh, wait. Hang on. Oh, this is fantastic. Right, okay. I have to combine the 2 and the 5, don't I? Because the 2 is telling me about the parity, really, in the column, but the 5 is saying that every 5 cells, you need digits with the same modularity under division by 5. 2 has a 2 remainder, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That has to be a 7. So this is not 7, this is not 7, and this is not 7. And that's 4 or 8. So it's either got a 4 remainder or a 3 remainder. So this digit should either have a 4 remainder under division by 5, though. So 1 won't work there, will it? That's got a 1 remainder. But 3 will. And 9 will. 9 has a 4 remainder. That's a 4. 3 has a 3 remainder. And 8 has a 3 remainder. And I don't know what to do now. Oh, come on, Simon. What does this mean? What numbers have I got so far? I've got 1, 2, 5, and 6. So actually, and I mean, this is an appalling thing to do. I'm embarrassed to do this, but forgive me. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Now, I know this is not 7, because remember what we said about 7. 7 in its column, the 1, 2, 8, and 9 are going to be in the wings. So, it doesn't work. Oh, well, hang on. I've got a 7 here. Oh my goodness, I've done the 7. I've done the 7 by Sudoku. That is an outrage. It's very welcome. Right, so these digits are 1, 2, 8, 9 in that column. These digits are 3, 4, 5, 6. That is not 6. That is not 4. That is not a 5. And those two are 7 apart, and these two are 7 apart. And that is not a 2. So this is not a 9. Oh, well, that was tremendously exciting for a moment. I think. Oh dear. So now, what on earth do we do next? Don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I suspect there is stuff we can do. I just have to work it out. I've thought about 8. 8's got 1 and 9 in the rings. I've thought about 3. That's a modular. 9 doesn't matter. So I haven't thought about 4, have I? I don't think 4 feels interesting. 4... 4 does have, it's got 1, 5 and 9, doesn't it? All have remainder of 1 under division by 4. Yes, okay. Right. So that does matter, actually. Because, well, okay, I think it does matter. Because if we think about how that's going to work, I'm just going to think about 4 in this column then. So wherever we put the 1, the 5 and the 9, they've got to be spaced out 4 apart. Otherwise, those remainders are going to repeat within a 5-cell sequence, aren't they? So whatever this one is, let's say that this was a 1, then those 3 will have the other remainders under division by 4. So they will have the 0 remainder, a 2 remainder, and a 3 remainder. And in that group of cells, you're going to have a 1 remainder, which is going to be this one. So the 1, the 5, and the 9 are going to be in exactly those positions in the 4 column. So this is definitely not a 4, because it's not a 1, 5, or a 9 in that position. If this was a 4, this would be a 9. And so that wouldn't work. So this is not a 4 either. Because if this is a 4, that should be a 1, 5, or 9. The only one it could be would be a 9, but the 9 would have to go here because this can't be 1 or 5. So this is not a 4. So the 4 is in one of these positions. Oh, no, that's still okay, I think. I was going to say that's a bit weird because, well, those would have to be 1 or 9. They can't be 5. These would have to be, I don't know, it could be anything. So those cells in some way are affected by whichever of these is a 4. So because one of those is a 4, that cell is not a 4. Now, don't really know how to do this. 3, 9. Okay, this one is not a 3. Because if it's a 3, it's the same principle again. Every 3 cells, we should get the same modularity. 3 under division by 3 is 0. So if this is 3, those should be 3, 6, and 9. And you can see that would be 3, that would be 9, and that would have to be 6, which it can't be. So that can't be 3. Now, does that work the other way round? If that's 3, yeah, where's the 6? Where's the 6 in those cells? None of them can be 6, so it doesn't work. Right, so by hook or by crook, what we've now got is an 8-9 pair in this column, which means these are a 3-4 pair. I'll think that through in a moment, but I know something about 8. Yeah, this can't be the 8, because we know in the 8 column the 1 and the 9 have to be 8 cells apart. So if that's 8, that's ruined. This has to be 8, and this has to be 9, and this has to be 1. This is brilliant, isn't it? Now this is a 1-3 pair, so this is a 9. Now let's apply the 5 logic to this column. So that's a 4, because those have to have the same remainder. Oh, bobbins. Oh no, that's still good. 8 there means this is a 6. So now we go up there, that's got to be a 1. These have the same remainder, they're 5 apart. This is an 8, that's a 3. And that column has just been finished by dint of magnificence by Kaktuslav. Now, this is not a 1. So this is the 7 column. So the blue ones are 7 apart. So if this is 2 or 8, that is not 8. That's 1 or 9. This is not 9, so this is not 2, because those ones have to be 7 apart. 4's in... nearly. 4... Yeah, where's 4 in this column? There. In column 3, remember one colour is all the colours are 6 different from each other. So these ones can't be 3, 9, because that can be neither of those. So this one is either 1, 7, which would have to be actually, hang on, it would have to be that way round, or 2, 8, which would have to be that way round. And either yellow or green is now 3, 9. So if it was green, that would be a 9. And that would... I can't know. It's going to be too complicated, isn't it? I mean, if we just look across, I hardly know anything about these cells. Like, if there was a 3 down here, that would totally be fine to make yellow 3, 9. I'll come back to that if I need to, I think. I don't like the look of it. No, see, it's all... I think it might almost be Sudoku. 5, no. Yeah, that's not 5. Oh, that's not 3. I've got a 3, 4 pair here, so this is 5 or 6. There is a 3 in that domino, definitely. Now, how does the 3 and the 4 work? We know that in the 4 column... hang on. In the 4 column, 1, 5 and 9 go into the red cells. So, right. So, in the bottom row, you can't put 1 or 9, so one of those is a 5. It depends where the 4 is, as to which one. One of those is a 5, though. So these are... Right. Then where's the 9 in the red cells? It's not in the top because of this 9. So the 9 is in one of those two, and the 1 is in one of those two. And that takes 1 out of this cell. I don't know which of these is 1 because it depends on which of these is 4. But one of them is, and that 1 takes 1 out of there, which means I've now got a 2, 8 pair in the column, which means this... Oh, bother. That hasn't disambiguated this. Okay, let's just check the 3 out then, because wherever the 3... Yes, yeah. Oh, yes. I can do one thing with that, where I might be able to do more, but let's just think about that. One of these is 3, which means 3 cells away, we're going to have to put a 6 or a 9. We can't put a 6. So one of these is a 9. And now I've got sort of an X-wing of 9s in those cells. This is it's very difficult to pencil mark this, but what I'm saying is that whichever one of the 3 and the 4 is 4 puts a 9 in one of the red cells, and whichever one of these is 3 puts a 9 in one of those two cells. And so the question is, can this be a 9 in box 5? The answer is no. And the way to understand that is to ask facetious questions about these 2 rows. And the question I want to ask is, how many 9s are there in those 2 rows? And hopefully you will say, there's 1 9 in row 4, that would be correct, and there's 1 9 in row 5. I would agree entirely. So in these 2 rows, there are exactly 2 9s if we complete the puzzle correctly. Yet, we have just said that one of those cells is a 9, and one of these cells is a 9. So the 2 9s that must exist in these rows are in those 4 cells. So you can't add another 9 here. That would be a third 9. That's too many 9s in two rows of the puzzle. So that is a 9. And that does nothing. But But I want to go back to 3s, because whichever 3 is going to have a 9 in one of those and a 6 in one of those, where I've got a pencil marked 1 from the 4 column. So they are a 1-6 pair now. That's absolutely extraordinary. How does that not do anything? I'm so sorry. That's bizarre, isn't it? So 6. Oh dear. Maverick's flying over to mock me. No, that doesn't work. I don't know. Okay, so I've got to think harder about this. I mean, within the 3 and the 4 columns, there are going to be this sort of patterning is going to exist that we've got in the 6 column. What I mean by that is, I tell you what we should do. Yeah, whichever one of these is 4 cells away from it, which is there and there, we're going to have to put an 8, aren't we? Because that's almost doing it. But because 4 cells away, we're going to need a 0 mod 4 digit, because 4 is 0 mod 4. So 4 cells away, and in the 4 cell sequence that doesn't include the 4 but is exactly next to it, you're going to need a 0 mod 4 digit, and the only one available is 8. So one of those is an 8, which means one of these is an 8 by Sudoku. And for example, I don't know, if this is 4 and that's therefore, that's 1, 2, 3, 6 or 7. So that cell would then be 4 different from that. Oh, goodness me. Wow. Okay. So that is tricky now. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to do this, but do I have to pencil mark these cells? 2, 3, 6, 7. Let me just have a quick look at that. 2, 3, 6, 7. 6 comes out of there. See, I just don't know enough about them. It's just not. I haven't got enough for Sudoku to be helpful yet, I don't think. I need some stuff in these wings in order to do anything. So somehow, I don't really see how to do it though. Am I being very dumb here? Yes, I can hear the chorus from Simon's Future. I probably am. If that's 4, that would be a 2. So this would be a... No, hang on. How does it work? 4, 8, 2. This should be a 9, actually. So that would be a 1, and that would be an 8. So I'd have an 8 there, and an 8 there, and an 8 in one of those two. That doesn't look problematic at all. What's the... That's 3. That's 9. That's 6. That's 1. If that's 3, that... Oh, 1, 5. It's the 159 thing in the red, isn't it? 159 in red. 159 in red. 2. I don't know. I don't know. This is really tricky. How many ones do you end up with? If that... No, that's not... That's 4. I'm losing track of my pencil marks. It's the red, isn't it? That's the 1, 5, that's tracking the 159. So if that's 4, that's 1. No, that's 1 as well. That doesn't work. Right. Okay, there's a problem with 1s in box 3 if this is 4, I think. And this might be wrong. But let me play through what I had in my mind there. So remember the 4 is associated with the red digits, i.e. we said in the 4 column, there's the digit 1, the digit 5 and the digit 9, all of which have a 1 remainder, so all have to be equally spaced out, 4 apart. So if this is 4, this is 5, can't be 1 or 9. This can't be 9, so that's going to have to be the 9, and this digit will be the 1. So if this is 4, this is 1. But if this is 4, we also know that's 8, because 4 cells away from the 4, you have to have a 0 remainder, 4 digits. So this becomes 8, and that's where the problem comes, because this is 1, and this is 8, which means this is 2, which means this is 9, and this is 1 by Sudoku. And we get 2 1s in that box. I mean, it's very complicated, but it's quite pretty, to be honest, isn't it? And it flows very clearly once you get in your head what the red digit, or no, let me be precise. It flows very clearly once you have locked in your brain exactly the consequences of the 4 column, which have to include the 8 and the 1 in these 2 cells. Yeah, maybe that's the nice way of seeing it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't work, is the point. If this is 4. So this is 3. That's 4. So this is the reds on this side are the 159, which means the 9 X-wing gets resolved. It means this is now a 6. So we've got the 3, 6, 9 coming in this column. This is not 5 anymore. In fact, we probably need to lose the redification of the grid now. Otherwise, I'm going to get very confused. And the greenification there. This is not the 8. The 8 needs to be in the column with the 4. So that's good. This has become a 7 then. So this becomes a 1 because they have to be 6 apart. Oh, yeah, this is great. This is beautiful. Because remember, digits that are 6 apart include 2 and 8. That digit can be neither. So this must be from the 3, 9 set. So they are 3, 9. These are 2, 8. And we know the order. This is beautiful. Now, how do we resolve this 3, 9 nonsense? Don't know. 2 is in one of 2 cells in box 3. And yeah, what we should do, is we should find digits 4 apart in this column and note to ourselves that we're going to have a 2, 6 pair and a 3, 7 pair there. So yeah, oh no, I know what we do. We don't ask that question. We just say where's 6 in column 2. Can't be there. Can't be in those 2. So that's it. The red 6, 2. There we go. We can just do that. And now we've got 3 and 7 into the other positions. Somehow that's not resolved. Extraordinary. 6 is in one of these 2 cells by Sudoku. 2 is not here. 6, 7. Now we need help from somewhere. Okay. Well, the other thing we could do is note that in the 3 column we've got a mod line, haven't we? So those digits are either 2, 5, 8 or 1, 4, 7. I don't know which they are. And these digits are either, they're the same. They're either Oh, there you go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That cannot be 2, 5, or 8. So that is 1, 4, or 7. So it's 1 or 7. This is a 4. Can't be 1 or 7. So this is a 1 or a 7, and it can't be a 1. So that all gets resolved. So these have got to be 2, 5, 8 now. How good is this puzzle, by the way? Isn't it fantastic? Now, how do these new bits of information help us? We must do something. They must do something, he says. Oh, I've got an 8 here looking at that one. So the blue 2, those were 7 apart, weren't they? So that's now 9. So this is 1 and this is 8. That places 2 by pencil marks, places 5 here. So these digits are a 1, 3 pair. We can do that. 1 and 3 go in. Nearly. I've nearly got this digit. Where's 2 in this box? Doesn't seem to be. Oh, it's just easy, isn't it? That's 2. It's just Sudoku. Nothing complicated. Apologies. So this is where 2 goes in box 5. We have got a lot of 2s now done in the grid. 2 in one of those cells. This is not a 2 or a 5. So in the bottom row, 3, 4, 6. So that's 3 or 6. That's 4 or 6. Have we got any more trickeries to use, or are we quorate on trickeries? Don't know. I'm not sure. Let's double click 6s and hope something happens. No, 6 has got 2 possible places, I think, in box 7. 9s? I feel like we've done a few 9s in our... Oh, that's now a 3. So that's a 9. Right. Oh, that 3 doesn't see that. That's annoying. Okay, let's redouble click 9s. Okay. 1, 2. That's a 9. I think all the 9s are done. All right, let's try 8s. This isn't an 8 anymore. So 8 is in this domino. And this domino, that's not going to resolve, is it? 7. I don't feel like we've put many 7s in the puzzle. Although, I will say that that is a 7-8 pair in box 2, which means this digit is a 4. And that corner digit is a 5, therefore. We need a 4 in that row. That's good. So that gets us a 4, a 3. This is now a 2-5 pair. Oh, we don't get a 3. Oh, no 3s in the corner today. 6 and a 4 down there. This digit is, 6. 6 in box box 9. And now things are getting resolved in the middle, look. Now we need 1 and 8. Yeah, where's 1 in row 5? There is the answer. So that's 8. That's 8. 3 in row 4 places it here. That's therefore a 7. This should be a 6. That Sudoku looks like it's working, which is always something of a relief. This is 5. This is 2. So that's 2, and that's something. 3 probably. This 8 is lovely. 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, and that's a 5. Wow. That is what I would like to say. Wow. Isn't that incredible? It's a beautiful puzzle. I mean, actually, how can that possibly work? It won't let me do it now, but there's 9 modulo thingamies, spaced like a Christmas tree, in which the 1 and the 9 do nothing, let me add. The 1 and the 9 don't do anything. So the other Christmas tree baubles have to do all the heavy lifting. And somehow Kaktuslav has found a way of that working. That's amazing. That's miraculous, really, isn't it? It's just miraculous. It's beautiful. A beautiful puzzle from a beautiful mind. Now, is it correct? Yes. I mean, it felt correct, didn't it? It's only had 21 solves. Hopefully that will go up to 21,000 solves very soon. Send it to every mathematics lover that you know, and let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.